Hey guys, we'll get started in just a minute. AR, why don't you talk a bit so that we can do a quick level check?
Hey,
Talk a bit
hey,
more.
AR Pulver here. I've survived the flooding in Madison on Monday and throughout the week.
Okay, it looks like our levels are roughly even. Me and AR both have throat issues. We're both not quite sick, but a bit screwed up at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, so our levels look about even. May should be joining us partway through. Let's just grab our quick 30 seconds and then we'll get started, okay? Starting now. Okay, that should be good. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and turn on the May blocking overlay. You ready to start?
I'm.
Okay. Welcome to the Withdraw Podcast. We're here to entertain and inform a little bit while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark. I run with the will.
And I'm AR Pulver, Digimon System Restore.
And we're both sick, sort of.
Sort of. I'm not sure what it is. It's just a little scratchy
Yeah.
today.
We both have screwy throats. May will hopefully be joining us for her return soon. There's a lot of news to go over.
Yeah, this would be a good May episode as well. This week has way more X antibody stuff than I'm comfortable with.
Look, it's just Digimon with knives taped to them. And the weird hair thing that I don't know what to call. The the
Yeah,
the Asmaria hair. Yeah, what do we call that? It's like a light wavy thing.
it's it's Digimon to the extreme.
Extreme. Um,
Extreme with multiple E's in that.
I think we need multiple X's. Extreme.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Um. So how's the last month been? Since it's been quite a while.
It's been all right. Uh, Nothing too much notable happening, at least on my end. Just
Yeah.
getting back into the closing out summer type of atmosphere.
Yeah. My summer closeouts this Thursday when I take a friend to Universal who's never been there.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yes, and got hooked up with the express tickets from a friend who works for the company. So get to skip
Nice.
the lines. The best part of any theme park trip, not waiting 2 hours in line for a ride.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I've been to a lengthy line theme park.
Yeah, they're all lengthy line theme parks in California.
Right.
Yeah. You
Wisconsin doesn't have that quite nearly as much. There's a couple water parks in the Dells, I suppose, where the lines can get pretty bad.
yeah, yeah, out here the lines can be killed. I remember when I was looking at the tickets, I was also looking at they post the ride times online and it was like
Mm-hmm.
Transformers 2 hours and 10 minutes. And it's like, "Oh, fuck no, I'm not doing this. I'm just
It
not
also helps that I'm not. It also helps I'm not a big roller coaster person. So
Okay. Shall we get started?
Yeah, sure. Sorry,
I
I didn't
suppose
join
I think we
sooner. I
stalled
didn't
long enough
realize
hoping.
what was going
Oh
on.
hey, it
Hey,
worked. Our
Yeah,
our stalling worked.
I've been here for a couple of minutes.
I didn't even know you were in the call, to be honest.
No, I'm here.
How,
I just didn't want to interrupt.
how'd you get in the call?
It's in the group.
That's odd because you weren't in. I tried inviting you in and it didn't connect. I had
I
no
didn't
idea
get
you were
like
here.
I didn't get any
This
notification
this
that
is all riveting. This is all riveting behind the curtain stuff.
That's not even
yeah,
behind the.
like
I like that you didn't want to. I like May. I like that you didn't feel like you should. It was appropriate to interrupt our nonsense conversation about theme
yeah, because
parks.
I
Yeah.
was just I didn't realize why because I could see that the call was happening, so I just clicked join, but I didn't actually get a notification that the call had started, even though that I'd been there while it started. So I just
Oh.
jumped in manually because it was in our
Oh.
group thing.
I had
And then you
no.
guys were talking, and I was like, I didn't want to interrupt, so I just kind of sat here and listened.
I had no idea that could actually be done. To be quite honest.
Yeah, I thought it would have blooped or something. I was like, oh, they're
No.
just in the middle of a conversation. I don't want to interrupt. I'll just
No.
sit here.
No.
I don't like theme parks either. Roller
No.
coasters make me sick.
No. I heard a random voice.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's weird. I didn't think AR's wife was Australian, but maybe she is. I don't know.
We don't know. You might have a secret
No,
wife.
she's no, she's British.
Yeah.
Oh, same accent.
May popped up, and I legitimately had no idea who the hell it was for a few seconds before my brain caught up.
No,
I-
I just didn't want to interrupt. I was like, oh, it's fine. I'll just, it's okay. I'll
Let
talk
it
later when I
ride.
have time.
Okay, so good time to start stuff, I think.
Yeah, you can take the blocker off now.
Yeah.
I had a blocker, but I was here.
I literally have a little blocker in the program so I can block you so that the overlays don't need to be changed.
Okay.
The blocker's off and everyone can now see your little tile.
Yay.
Shall we get to the news?
Best intro ever.
Yes. Yes. May was here and we didn't know, which might be the best story we will ever have. So first up was 8-1 Odaiba Memorial. We did a show right before it, but
You know, it was like the day or two before.
yeah.
That was the one you did when I was at work, yeah?
Yeah. Bandai
Yeah.
did some really nice artwork for it, and Tomi Yoshida posted the best photo ever.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
I love that artwork, by the way. That's my
Yeah.
my home screen now.
Yeah, it's
I just changed my phone screen as well. We'll get to that later.
I
That
like
one-
the Patamon one's great.
Mm.
Just
Oh yeah.
like they keep
They're
trying.
all they're all so good.
I know.
Palmon's so cute.
Like they keep throwing.
Yeah.
They
Well-
keep throwing random Digimon at us. They get some of the deeper cuts.
Although funnily, there wasn't really much announced that day because they'd announced so much before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was sort of just, hey, here's a few photos, go away.
But yeah, well, I'm never ready for Odaiba. I never have anything special for Odaiba Memorial. It's always fun seeing what everyone else is doing.
You're
Like,
you're cutting out just a
it's
touch,
nice
AR.
that people are still keeping it together. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just nice seeing what everyone else does. I like that Kakuto was retweeting fan art like crazy.
Yeah, he really does love Twitter.
Mhm.
And I think the reason why he does is because he used to do all the food stuff on his website anyways. So it's become
Yeah.
just an extension of doing that.
Yeah, but if you follow both Kakuto and Nimoy, you get hungry you get hungry fast.
Yeah, that for some reason I never thought of that before. Next up, they gave us quite a bit of audio information for the new CSA 99 Digivice. The cast list is interesting, and honestly, it's a bit more coherent than I expected.
Yeah.
Out of the 16, 13 are returning, 2 are using archived audio, and 1 is using the same replacement actor that they've used for over half a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Taichi, they're going to use previous audio. Sora, they're going to use previous audio. And Takaru, they're using the replacement actress, which
Yeah.
she like
Very familiar to us by now.
Yeah, she has like some of the most major roles in the modern version of the franchise. She's Iru, she's Nokia,
Mm-hmm.
and she's replacement Tiny Takaru.
Yep.
It looks like they've done a lot of audio for this. I mean, like they give examples of like scenes from episodes that they've re-recorded.
Yeah, are they re-recording existing scenes scenes
Yes,
or adding some sort of new dialogue to those, or
both.
it sort of confused me.
They're
Okay.
re-recording to do fresh, clean recordings. Um, I would guess for Taichi and Sora, they're probably not going to use stuff from the show. They're probably going to use from the PSP game because a lot of those would
Okay.
have really
Yeah, that
that's me guessing though, but there's
yeah.
lots of clean
It makes
recordings for those.
it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and there's going to be our war game stuff there, and Kakudo was there overseeing recording. And do you like how they put the DVD box instead of the Blu-ray box in the little promo photo?
Oh, I
I th-
didn't even notice that.
I think they did that because the art on the DVD box is bigger.
Yeah, and for some
Mm.
reason the art on the DVD box is just a little bit more nostalgic.
Yeah,
Like it just looks
Yeah.
older, and it's a better fit. We're talking about 1999 and nostalgia and stuff.
yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm.
especially for the photo where, and you don't have to show the whole box because
Mm.
the Blu-ray box artwork's around it for all the kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if we get any characters who aren't announced because I could easily see lines from the villains or stuff in it.
Sure,
But
sure.
we'll see. And now we get into like the mess of news that they've been throwing at us lately. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we finally got artwork for Ragnar Lordman, and wow, that's a thing. And I don't mean it in a bad way, but it's both like the perfect example of great Digimon design and perfect example of what Kenji Watanabe's pointed out, where they keep telling him to simplify stuff, and he just kind of ignores them.
It looks more like a Digicross than a Jogress to me.
Well, that's kind of explained in stuff we'll go into in a bit. Kind of.
Okay. Okay.
And we also got the finalized artwork for the second wave pendulum boxes. The art for the whole packaging's gorgeous though.
Right, right.
Yeah. And I like how they point out that based on how you put them on the shelves, they're either fighting or battling back to back.
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah. I mean it just
Yeah.
looks great.
They gotta be fighting each other though. That's more fun that way.
I don't know. I think they look better. The artwork looks better back to back.
Someone have to Photoshop that to. I need a side by side comparison.
Oh no, look at the link. That's why we have notes. We have an image of them back to back.
Oh, you did do. Okay.
Oh no, oh no, no, that's not me
Yeah.
photoshopping it. They actually put up both versions and actually talked about it. Like
Oh,
they're
okay.
they're very amused by the packaging, Bandai. Um, and to continue talking about the pendulum, they told us a few more. The Digimon showing up, and I mean, we're not really surprised by any of these, but I like how they point out that Targetmon looks like Target Nishizawa. Agumon Hakase.
Yep.
It's always great to see Hakase in stuff. I don't know
Yeah.
why I'm
Although,
always so
what are they
amused by
gonna
him.
do with what are they gonna do with that Terriermon that's been showing up on Twitter?
Yeah, we still don't know if that's a new Digimon or if it's just a Terriermon with a
Or
coat.
just Terriermon in a lab coat?
Yeah, because they do both with Digimon. Sometimes, if they give a Digimon a hat,
Oh,
it's a
yeah,
new
sure.
Digimon.
Sure.
Other times,
You can.
yeah, we really have no clue. I think it would. I don't know. I could imagine them doing like a crane plush of him though.
I like the implication that Agumon Hakase is different because it suggests that this one's actually smart.
Well, no, that is the point. Is he went to Digimon University?
That's why it has to be. That's why it has to be a new Digimon.
Yeah.
Not because he's wearing a coat, but because he went to school, got educated.
Yeah. And on top of them, we get the 3 different anniversary Digimon. I mean, Zubamon's not really a surprise because they've told us he was
Yeah.
there multiple times. But it's a nice selection. And then we get to go into the
Sure.
exciting stuff from the art book. So the they're really filling out this art book, this one. So we start off with we're gonna get all the Twitter art. which is,
Yay.
I mean, we knew that, but seeing the way they're going to lay it out's great. And that's going to be 2 pages. Then we're going to get a section just based on all the different armor evolutions.
This is fun.
Yeah.
I like it. I like going back and putting some emphasis on the armor forms, especially if they're going to be sorted by the base.
Yeah.
The base Digimon.
Do you like how they're blacking them out, blurring them out as if we haven't seen them before?
But it's a secret. It's unknown.
But
well, I guess it it kind of obscures the level of detail that you're going to get in the art book. You
no,
gotta,
I know,
you gotta
but we've
get
seen
to see the.
but we've seen the
I
images.
mean, we know who they are.
But that's what I mean. We've seen these exact images before, is what I mean, though.
Yeah.
And then the single most important section, all the Omegamons and affiliated
yeah, of
Digimon.
Course.
Yeah, I love how
you have to have Omegamon in there.
I love the little section for the 2 not Omegamons, where you get.
Like, did they even consider Omega Shoutmon a fake?
Well, no, it's not
Like,
fake.
it's close enough.
I mean, it uses his power anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah.
So I guess kind of maybe like Omegamon gave him the power.
Well, that's why he's in the sort of other section
Omegamon
where it's
gives a lot of power away.
yeah, yeah. I just like how I'm curious to see, and they that's what I forgot. We're gonna see the official Merciful Mon art for the first time, Merciful Mode.
Oh, that's fun. Makes sense.
Yeah, because we actually have not seen their official artwork of him yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Then they're gonna put Digimon Chronicle in there, which is kind of exciting because I don't think that's ever been reprinted.
Yeah, you never hear anything about Chronicle. That's a good place to do it.
Yeah. And then yet even more art book stuff. They're really previewing a lot this time. So first up, they're going to show the original like design plans for the Pendulum. Then they're going to show, and I love this, all the little LCD attacks. I love just all the little sprites of the attacks. They all look so great. Although, who fights by throwing cherries?
Cherrymon?
Who doesn't?
Draymon?
And then, yeah.
Just a guess?
Yeah, I have no idea, but yeah. They're also
Don't
gonna
remember that, but
I don't remember it at all, to be honest. Then they're gonna show us the world of the X antibodies, which some of this we've seen, but I'm really interested to see more of it. And last up, we're gonna get the preview of Folder Continent. What do you guys want to see from this act, though?
Lots of Doraemon. The X antibody also explained. That'd be great.
I mean, they've kind of explained it, to be honest.
I know, but like actually, like given more, like I feel like they could give more detail to it and go into it more, and perhaps not have so much in so many different places. Like I feel like a lot of the time people get the definition of an X antibody through like multiple things.
Yeah, well, the story of the X antibody is backstory so much that I'd rather that actually be the story instead of used as backstory for other media.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like actually use that. Like
that's an interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. It's an interesting story. And it's just sort of so this happened before. It's Frontier all over again.
And talking about X antibodies, this was kind of a no one like everyone sort of went, maybe we'll get a Pendulum X next year, and they'd been teasing stuff, and they threw out what appears to be, I mean, they haven't given us enough information, but an entirely new VPET, the Digital Monster X. And I kind of love the logo, even though it's not like that unique. I just like it.
Extreme.
It's extreme. It's gonna go up for pre-order on September 14th for under 4,000 yen, so the price is gonna be the same. They're gonna do a live stream the same day, showing us the X, other toys and games. 2 of the Rear Eyes actors will be there. Do you think we'll get any surprises there?
The death of Yggdrasil.
I have no idea what constitutes a yeah, they announced his retirement.
Okay, let me tell you this. What do you think the resolution will be of the sprites? Because the Pendulum X's used the big ones.
I would say that they would probably go with the big ones. Like, I feel like maybe it's not an exact redo of it, like the Pendulum and the Digital Monsters, but maybe it's like a version 2 of it, like it's an upgrade version, so it is the same in most ways, except things are improved or something, I don't know.
See, I feel like it's probably going to be the small one, because if it was the big one, wouldn't it cost more?
I don't know, maybe. I like when they do cheaper things.
Yeah. And then they threw more X-Antibody stuff at us. They put up Chapter 2 of Chronicle X, the sort of sequel that they started really like January, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And the interesting thing is the artwork they show for the old digital world is a redrawn version of the original Pendulum background image.
Ooh.
It's
well, that's because it's on the same continent, though, right? They're both in Folder.
They don't actually specify that. They just specify them going to the old digital world, which is in disrepair. But they actually redrew the image, and everything's destroyed in it. But it's the actual background from the Pendulum toy. So it's just a neat little comparison. So I'm kind of curious if that will be the background to the VPET. Because they redrew it and it's in the same style. It looks just neat. So I'm curious to see what they do with that, if anything. As for the actual story, I keep expecting these to be longer. This is almost literally just Craniumon and Sleepmon returned, explained that it had, it's strife disorder, and that they need a third person to really go back and investigate anything. Wink, wink. And I'm gonna go. We don't know who the third person is. I'm gonna go ahead and guess it's Jessamon X Antibody. And at the exact same time they did that, they put up his profile.
Mm-hmm.
He's very. I mean, we've seen the art before, but he's very pointy. Very, very pointy.
X Antibodies gotta be pointy.
Yeah, but like staring at him, it's like
he was already pointy.
Yeah.
And that's the word to describe X Antibody.
Yeah.
Digimon, pointy.
Yeah. Then
except for Gomon, who I maintain is still, him and Palmon are probably the best designed X Antibodies.
Yeah, I gotta hope. Yeah, I hope they're still cuddly.
They also put up the profile
and
for
you're not gonna gouge something out.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna gouge something out by giving them a hug.
They also put up the profile for Ragnaloridmon, and it's not a normal Jawgress. They combine, but they actually create the body out of nothing by imagining the Digimon that would hold them in their final forms. So the centerpiece, the centerpiece is its own Digimon with its own mind, but that they create out of thin air, which it actually explains the design perfectly, since it's sort of Alphamon, sort of Omegamon, and sort of neither.
I just think it looks the final image. If you just go off of that, looks more like a Digicross to Jogris. It's like this Digicross between Durandamon, Berweldamon, and I'd say Mirage.
Yeah.
Gaugamon, to be honest.
But it's basically they Jawgress without ever really combining. They just create something new to hold them, and they still have control over themselves.
Yeah, they can just turn into a sword and a shield.
Yeah.
Make something up to hold it.
Yeah. But it will also be interesting to see if we ever get a Digimon that really is meant to wield both of them, rather than their imagined version of that. Like, is this a tease for a future Digimon?
In a future chapter, they something takes out the body and wields both of them.
Yeah.
Unwillingly. Ooh.
So it'll be interesting to see. it's hard for me to like Jesmon X. It's so spiky even compared to Jesmon. I just kind of laugh every time I see it, to be honest.
Well, we have to make it spikier.
No, I know, but it's just like
That's the rule.
he looked sort of like an X antibody Digimon already, and now it's like taken to
Yes.
the extreme.
You have to, yeah.
Um, and yet another day to go over. 19 years since Digimon premiered in English.
If nothing else, this just demonstrates. It's just a reminder of how quickly they turned that dub around.
Yeah, they.
Yeah.
And there are some. Yeah.
We were just celebrating it coming out in Japan.
Yeah. Yeah, they did turn that quickly. That's also why Digimon fans overall are kind of spoiled when it comes to that, because for a long time we got stuff really, really fast.
I think I remember 3 months being the fastest.
Yeah,
at one point. Yeah.
It came pretty close.
And that was just more episodes.
Can I just correct something that AR said? The Odaiba days, the day they went into the digital world, not the day that it came out. It came out, I'm pretty sure, in March.
I meant March.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Sorry. I thought you meant that
Odaiba
that's what I meant.
Day. It's still the fastest turnaround.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, that is exceptionally very fast.
A 2-week turnaround would have been at the time.
Yeah.
Nowadays they do it.
Didn't Nemo say that he was like dubbing the episodes while they were still like just starting off in Japan, basically?
I believe some of them they were getting incomplete scripts at first.
Yeah.
Because at some points they were rushing so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what as I recall, that's what happened with Gatomon. And that's why she has that name. They didn't even have background information explaining she was female.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's why they named her after the male cat.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's been 19 years at this point. It's nice that we don't have to have anniversary years in a row where it's been 20 years in Japan, it's been 20 years here. We can just say it's been X. And then we have a bunch of apparel. And oddly, we have more apparel for the US than for Japan, which is kind of odd.
And some of the Japan merchandise looks like US merchandise.
Yeah. So for Japan, we got from Premium Bandai 2 different tri-shirts. The Part 1 shirt with the multiple gradients is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the Digimon on the phone booth with the really strange Digimon text for no reason.
The LCD font. Like, that one looks like a shirt I'd find in Hot Topic.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why that text is there, to be honest.
It's computery.
Yes. And then we get a few different US shirts. First, we get the Greymon shirt, which is, nice line art. It looks really nice, to be honest.
That's pretty nice.
Then we get the Taichi no Agumon shirt, which has both of their Japanese names on it with the English logo.
English logo, Japanese name, that's what I'm here for.
That's what I found really weird. Like, it almost looks like a fake, like a bootleg, because of the fact that there's, the English logo, Japanese names. Just like, it just reminds me of so many bootlegs that I saw back in the day.
Yeah, well, even the Garurumon t-shirt that they've got has Garurumon in the katakana, and then it's like champion level or...
Yeah. Well, like, in this case, I understand, because doing Thai in Japanese would just come across as a bit weird, to be honest.
That's just not his name in Japanese.
And then, a bit more surprise. First, let's go over this Patamon hat. Is this the best hat we've ever seen?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would get that in a second. I hope it's in stock soon, yeah.
It's a cream-colored hat with the very nice Patamon embroidered... I can't say the damn word. Embroidering. Did I say that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then on the back, they have the Patamon text, and you resize it with a belt buckle.
Yeah. I would actually go one. I would go one further. Not only would I get the hat? Yes, I would, but I'd even go further and say this is a hat I would actually get for my wife.
And they call it a dad cap.
Yeah, I get what they're saying.
Now, let's talk about this last shirt. So we get the Taichi no Agumon text again. We get the nice artwork with the shading, and they're actually using the Japanese logo, which I don't like. That surprises me.
That's how far we are.
Yeah, we're so far that we're now using the Japanese logo, and they're using the English logo now.
To be fair, the dub did use the Japanese logo on a couple occasions. Like, they used them for a couple of the movies.
Yeah. But I mean on actual, like, products, like walking into stores. Not just...
Sure, why not? If you're going to put stuff in Japanese, go all the way.
Yeah. But it's a bit different than, say, the dub of the later movies where they just didn't do anything budget-wise to cover them up.
Right. Right. Well, they had bad word art text over under it.
Yeah.
I love those movies.
Yeah, so lots of apparel. And we don't need to go over this in detail, but most of the Digimon Thanksgiving stuff you can now buy normally. May I be honest, how much have you ordered of this?
Of which one, sorry? Oh, the new stuff, none of it.
No, the Digimon Thanksgiving stuff.
Yeah, none of it.
You didn't get the acrylic cards, the can badges?
No.
Are you sick?
No, just stuff I don't need.
But that's your thing, May.
At some point, you get burned by the acrylic cards enough times that you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna step back.
Yeah.
I've actually never bought any of the packs of acrylic cards. I only have a Eri that I bought that was already opened, and I've got a Sparrowmon coming on the way, and that's about it. And a Miyako. But yeah, those three. I just bought the open packs already.
Okay. And next up, hey, we get a 2019 calendar, which almost all the characters uses art that we haven't seen 1,000 times.
This is remarkable. Yeah, that's all I can say about this calendar. This is really 2019.
Yes.
Are you sure it's not a 2001 calendar?
Yes.
It looks like a 2001
yes,
calendar.
It really does.
And I love it.
It really does, minus that they're not just using the generic art for every character.
Well, it's generic art. It's just generic art we haven't seen before.
But that's what makes it fun.
That's what's remarkable. Yeah, that's what's remarkable about it.
Can I also just say, like,
there's nothing interesting about a lot of these poses, but they're new.
The most interesting pose is Tailmon's, because what is she doing? Like, yeah, she has both arms out. She has one foot up like she's walking, but her arms are, like, wide.
She's doing Tai Chi.
Wow.
And later we'll get some of May's ass jokes.
Of course.
But yeah, so the calendar is for September 2018 through December 2019. And it's both interesting and amazing that this is coming out. Just, it's very weird, though. You can already...
I hope this...
Go ahead.
I can already picture this at a calendar kiosk at the mall.
It's available.
And I will walk right past it.
You can order it in the US and Canada right now. We're still waiting for, hopefully, the UK. It's always hard to guess if the UK will get stuff.
How does the UK do their calendar dates? Do they do Sunday first?
No idea.
Or do they do
but the
Monday first?
But the same company sells the same type of calendars there. It's just this one isn't listed yet.
Right.
So we'll see. And next up, the most important thing to discuss. The pops are out and we have proper photos of them.
Yeah.
And we're already starting to get like masses of pictures of people getting them. Like, these have already outsold every Digimon product that exists. Probably. So who's gonna get what?
This lends credence to one of the groups we're going to talk about later. The power of the purchasing power of one of the groups that we're going to discuss when we divide up our Digimon fandom.
Yes, I really liked when
I'm not going to buy these. I will end up with them somehow though.
So should we use? Are we using somehow or somehow in air quotes?
Somehow, like I'm just gonna end up somehow getting these. Like I'm not gonna steal them if that's what you're asking.
No, somehow in air quotes. I meant like you're just gonna come home and they're just gonna be there.
Yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen. That would be probably. I hope that that's because of my wife, but I will not direct her to buy these, but she's gonna.
And are you gonna get these, May?
Nope.
I have to say, I love the look of the Agumon one. Like the head of the Agumon one's amazing.
The Agumon's probably the cutest. Like, it's just so adorable. He's got the big head and he's leaning forward. It's very cute. But I'm not going to get any of them.
But yeah, that is the thing to point out, though, is these will outsell every fucking Digimon thing that's ever come out.
Oh, absolutely.
Like these are going to be the top-selling Digimon product of all time, or at least in the top 5 or 10.
Are these like the final box art, though?
These are the actual boxes, like physical photos.
Because it looks like the Digimon logo is photoshopped on. It just looks really weird. There's just something about it. Just doesn't seem right.
We'll see. We'll get more photos of them, no doubt. And now for a slightly more complicated figure. Got Alphamon, did the breakdown scans and stuff of him. That is a very big box. Did you get yours yet, May?
Which one, sorry? Oh, the Alphamon, yeah. Yeah.
That is a very
For some reason, I got confused, and when you said Alphamon, I thought you meant the NX Edge one. I'm like, yeah, like a year ago. But no, the Digivolving Spirits I got a couple of weeks ago, and it's pretty cool. But obviously, it's just that the purple cape bit looks a bit weird because it's just Doraemon's everything.
I still like the artwork being drawn with the purple cape just to make it work.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far he's the biggest, he's the most expensive.
He can have multiple capes.
Yes, he can.
Fashionable guy.
Now, let's talk about one who looks slightly less messy. Pre-orders for Holy Angemon, which he doesn't look as accurate as, like, say, Atler Kabuterimon, but like he's the most, for lack of a better word, splendiferous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you look at this one and it just looks amazing to look at.
It's just pretty, yeah.
Yeah. Like, you can flip down the little helmet cover Pope thing. What do we call that? Mask?
Visor?
Yeah, visor, mask, helmet.
Yeah. And Patamon looks amazing. Patamon looks great, like the smile and everything.
Yeah.
I look at the Patamon, it makes me smile. The figure will be out in December. The US figure will be out in February. And then we have some interesting ones coming up. I feel like the one after has to be Dukemon, though. Like, they've already teased Gilmon.
You don't think they're going to go with Piomon or Garudamon?
Well, but remember, they had that teaser image where they showed Tentomon, Patamon, and Dukemon in silhouette.
Yeah. Well, we actually saw Garudamon, so
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen Dukemon. We just haven't seen I don't think we've seen Gilmon yet. What was that, May?
I was just gonna say, when's the anniversary for Tamers? Because I feel like that'd be a good one to do Dukemon, right? Oh no, that's like in April.
No, we're not.
Maybe not.
We're not near a Tamers.
Yeah, it's like April, yeah.
But I mean, we're not even close to like an actual Tamers anniversry. Because we're like 2 years off an anniversary year.
Everything's in April.
Yeah. And
everyone celebrated the 19th. We can celebrate the 18th for Tamers.
Yeah, but
just super random.
And moving on to gem figures, the Angelmon Holy Gem is up for pre-order, with and without the stand, and U.S. pre-orders are up. May, I'm guessing you already have this ordered.
No, I'm not getting it.
I could swear I remember you a few weeks ago being very excited for this.
No, I mean I like it. I think it's nice, but I'm not getting it.
That makes me sad.
Are you frustrated at Mark? Are you frustrated at me being financially responsible?
A bit.
I mean, I had the War Greymon and Metal Garurumon in pre-order. I just cancelled them. And same with the Agumon and Gabumon plush toys.
What's next? Are you not gonna make an ass joke, May?
Probably not.
I'm very disappointed. They even wrote about her thighs in the description, and you're not gonna say anything?
Nope.
I'm proud of you, May. I support you.
I'm proud and disappointed of May. Because normally she makes the ass jokes and people blame me for them.
I mean, it must be your fault, right?
Do we have anything else to say about the figure? I mean, it looks nice. It's very expensive. They're not going. Hopefully, the wings don't break, and they claim they don't want to export it for reasons.
Yeah, let's actually get this one.
Yeah. But I still like the way they canceled it last time. Oh, we've decided this isn't appropriate for any country except Japan, and we're only announced, and this is only being announced days after the figures start showing up in stores completely broken. I mean, it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Talking about a Digimon without an ass, Bulkomon, this weird little furry ice guy who's from Digimon Encounters.
Bulkomon.
I love him so much.
The Digimon that should have an ass.
Yeah, and then there's his adult form, Paledramon, and his perfect form, Chris Paledramon. And then his ultimate form, who we haven't seen, but the silhouette looks like an angel.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Not only makes sense, from tabbed pendulums, Bulkomon's one of the code Digimon in it.
Yeah, so's Neo though from V-Tamer.
Wasn't it Neo from Next, not from V-Tamer?
I thought it was the little dude from V-Tamer, wasn't it?
No, no, there's characters named Neo in both.
No, I meant the Digimon Neo.
Yeah, that's from Next.
I thought it was from V-Tamer.
No, the Neo and V-Tamer's the guy, the Mach Yamato guy.
No, I'm pretty sure it's V-Tamer, right?
No, it's Next.
I don't remember Neo and Next, but I haven't read Next in forever, so.
Neo and Next is a little dude who looks like he should be from Mega Man X.
The Mega Man dude, yeah. Maybe this one.
I'm pretty sure.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. He's the Digimemories mix guy.
Yeah. Bulkomon looked like when we first saw like the render of him, he didn't look so good. The artwork looks really nice, and this was brutally stolen from DevQ, who sent me her Photoshop document so that I could clean it up and put it in here after she cleaned it up already. The artwork for him is really nice. I'm very curious to see what else he'll show up in because I feel like he has to show up elsewhere.
You'd think. It's just weird having original Digimon in a Chinese mobile game.
Yeah. And then we get to talk about Survive, or as we've called it a few times, hey look, it's Adventure again. They confirmed
Adventure Extreme.
Extreme. They confirmed the Western release with a trailer. They also confirmed it's also going to be on Xbox One and Steam, so everyone will get to play it if they want to.
That's wonderful. Having a PC would be really fun.
Yeah, it's on effectively everything. And then we got artwork and character profiles for Oi and Minoru. Minoru feels like art-wise, he's Koshiro Yamato. Character-wise, he's the alter Koshiro. And Oi feels and I think I said this, it felt like Sora. Her profile is Sora, basically.
It's
Sora with a dog instead of a bird.
They sound like kids we want to protect and I can't wait to see their inevitable suffering.
Yes.
I love that their partner choices are so out of the box.
Well, that's one of the things I like here is we know there's not going to be a lot of Digimon, and I don't mind that because the selection we've seen's already. So we have Agumon, then we have Labramon, and then we have classic Falcomon.
Old school Falcomon.
Yes.
I'm such a fan of this being in there.
Yeah. I just like it's a really interesting choice because there's no reason to use one over the other really other than the look.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why I get so excited about Labramon.
It
movie wasn't
cute.
that good, but yes, it's very cute.
It feels like it fits well as a partner. Like it feels like it does.
Mm-hmm.
So which one of these two is going to die first in the game?
I hope we get to pick. I hope we get to pick. I hope it's based on our choices that which one dies first.
Yeah. We're going to have a lot to talk about Survive in the future. It's really easy to tell in this case. And moving back to something...
I might just, the week it comes out, I might just skip the podcast and play it all weekend.
I think you said you were going to do that with Hacker's Memory, and you still ended up showing up.
Begrudgingly.
And then, talking about games, we have more details for the Adventure Escape Room. So it begins September 21st, and they've told us the plot. It's basically that the Adventure Kids fell into their trap, and you have to get through to try to rescue them. I want to say we both...
I feel like that's the plot of every escape room ever.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I think last time we both guessed this is exactly what the plot was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Someone needs to like wear the camera with the 1080p glasses when they do it, so we can see what this looks like. Oh. So if you're
I'll try to do it when if it's still there when I go in December, I'd like to go.
Yeah, you need to buy the 1080p camera glasses, and just walk through it while you're doing it.
Okay. Hide them in your goggles.
No, I'm not even making a joke. Buy cheap camera glasses and walk through it. It sounds like a joke, but it's really not.
I wonder if are you supposed to be the chosen children, or are you supposed
rescuing them
to save the chosen children?
Yeah, I think you're rescuing
them. So you're trapped, but I suppose you could do that with Pinocchimon. I hope you get a remote. I hope they let you play with the remote that moves around the forest, plays with all the pieces.
Love that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes up.
Great. Yeah.
I hope we get to I want to see some of the scenery in the rooms and everything. But we'll see, hopefully. On top of
in a few weeks, I hope they should have some pictures or something.
And we got the products for the Watakoji Memorial Concert. And is this just me, or is this some of the most boring products imaginable?
Yeah,
We get a towel, a light stick, a shirt, and then everything else they could just find in a warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
I should have guessed the CDs. I don't know why I didn't, though.
Oh, I figured they'd have some CDs out.
I thought they'd have some, but like going with like the mass of 3 dozen CDs, it kind of continues the theme of please just stop, please. Just like pick a few. We don't need like the wall of CDs to buy, some of which Watakoji isn't even in. I don't mind them bringing back the Best of album again because the artwork's really nice. Do we have anything else to say about this? Or shall we move on to the exciting item?
Yeah, let's do it.
Exciting.
Book, memorial book that will have
art book.
It'll have all the nice magazine images. I want to see all of them. They picked the right one to use for the cover, which we keep seeing this image also.
Yeah, it's a shame that this is the one I already have as a clear file, but it is a good image.
Yeah, it works great for the cover, especially since when it was on the cover of the issue of Animedia, it had all the stuff covering people up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
the clear files, which came with that same issue, is clean now.
Yeah. The price for this is great.
Yeah, the price is excellent. And as much as I condone May's financial responsibility, I've pre-ordered it.
Yes.
Yeah, I pre-ordered as well because it's not that much. It's only like
no.
Yeah, I got it from.
It's 1,000 yen, and it's that much for shipping too for me. So
like 100 pages of art and interviews for $20 after shipping is a good value.
It's also really nice. Also, it's a book.
Yeah.
I'm still hoping though that I want a huge book just with all the little storyboard thumbnails.
Oh yeah.
Because we've seen a decent number of those from the Blu-ray releases. I want to see them all. All of them. And on top of that, and hey, Try Part 5 came out, and May can actually discuss it because she has it.
Oh yeah, because I have that one. I haven't watched
the question.
No, I definitely haven't watched it. I don't have the time.
Well, it's out.
It's also Part 5.
Yes. It's out. You can buy it. May got it because she won a contest.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, I saw the winner was May, and I just laughed. And on top of that, we did our own contest. And the art winner, again, is great, and it was DevQ. People seem to really love this image when I posted it as the winner.
Yeah, that's the Maki art? Yeah, that was
I love this art so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that. It was like maybe she sent it half an hour or an hour before the contest ended, and that one was easy to guess who's going to win. And then Zakaina Solo wrote about Daigo, who's the other winner. That was not Daigo and Maki was not the theme. That just happened to be the two people who won.
Well, yeah, Daigo and Maki are awesome.
Yeah. And then next up, thanks to Kai in the UK, we had the scans and breakdown of the UK release. The artwork for the cards doesn't seem as nice this time to me. So, like, something about some of them just looks a little goofy. And I'm not sure why.
They got cards. I can't complain.
My favorite thing to see is it's always on Twitter or Reddit. Someone in the U.S. complains, they would have wanted the post from the cards, and then the U.K. person goes, "But you got a digital copy." And then it goes back and forth. It seems like everyone who gets the digital copy wants the physical stuff.
I'll be honest. I would rather have the digital copy.
Yeah.
Plus, if you ordered from Shout, you get those posters, which I haven't put up.
Yeah. And yet more UK and Australian releases. The UK is going to get a Tri-Box on the same day that they're getting Tri-Part 6. I'm hoping that's what they do for us also, just to make it easy on people. And they're going to get a Seasons 1 through 4 box, which is nice for them. They're getting that the same day they get Frontier. And then...
I wonder if they'll sell they'll sell us an empty box.
Well, I guess the question is it really a box? Or is it just going to be a case with 6 trays in it? Like, there may be no box.
Right.
And Australia gets some stuff, which is always nice for
me. Yes.
Pre-orders are open for Data Squad. Now, you guys have gotten this before, to be fair.
I'm kind of, because it was released in like 4 volumes, and for some reason they didn't release much of the 3rd and the 4th volume, only the first 2. So it was really hard to ever get.
They were hard, but it was technically out.
Yeah, it was technically out. Yeah.
This is.
It's just so much. There's just so much easier and nicer on a shelf when you can get them in a whole set.
Yes, and then on November 1st, I get Tri-Part 5, and if they rush, you guys might actually be done by the end of the year.
I doubt it.
Hey, they rushed with part 3.
Really optimistic
but
there.
They didn't for part 4.
No, but I'm just saying you guys aren't that far behind at this point, is what I mean. It's not like last time where part 2 was like half a year or something. And then part 3 they just threw out like 2 weeks later, like, here, take it. But yeah, some nice releases coming up for you guys. And the Tripart 6 was mentioned in a Toei fiscal presentation. It's one of the 2 theatrical releases that led to their theatrical business being up double over the same quarter the year before. And their overall video sales and everything were up 20% for the year. Hooray! Which also helps to explain why they were so ready with new adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning they knew.
I think we sort of.
Well, like
this was sort of the idea we got from the previous board meeting they had as well.
Yeah, and
the shareholders.
It's also come up in previous fiscal presentation where they've actually gone. This quarter's down because we didn't have something like Tripart 2, I believe, where like they were specifically saying that because they didn't have Digimon, that quarter was kind of fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, this also explains why they were working on what's coming up last year. Because we know Kakudo was working on it last year, he had said.
Yeah.
And then they released a trailer with no talking for the Tripart 6 Fathom screening, which is kind of odd.
Found that really interesting.
And the extras, they told us what they were, but in a very generic way. We get a look back at parts 1 through 5. I really hope it's the same way they did it for part 5 and not part 4, because while I like the long narrated ones, I kind of like the quickie ones they did for part 5.
Oh, I didn't like the part 5 one at all, because that was, I got it in a really poorly framed, it was subtitled, which just seemed out of place. I didn't like the part 5
I don't
at all.
Well, I'm not specifically talking about about it being subtitled or dubbed. I mean the time that it's spent on it.
Well, that was fine. I'm just talking about the quality of it. Like, I hope they put some more presentation.
Like, clip it out into that. Like the dubs are done for them. Clip them out of the dubs at least.
Dub.
It's very odd. Well,
it was in my theater. It was framed so weird I couldn't see the subtitles.
Well, to be fair, it is the tradition of these screenings that in some way they have to screw everyone. Like when they showed part 1 and then spoiled part 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a little under a month. And then we got surprised with another tribute image from Soda Kuwahara. Basically, and this one's actually labeled as, we guessed the last one would be the final. This one's actually labeled as such. And like all the others, this one's just gorgeous. I mean, damn.
This does make more sense as a final image, though. Because the previous one, that was with just the 4 girls, wasn't it?
Well, remember what I even said when we were looking through them before? Each one is kind of based sort of on the last one.
Yeah, on the previous movie.
So we were sort of like taken out of getting like a final group shot. And now we have that. And Koshiro's flipping out about something.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's
that.
I
ended up going back. I ended up going back and taking one of these images for my new phone screen.
Yeah. I mean, he's freaking out because Mimi grabbed his head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks like he's freaking out about his computer.
Yeah. She's got him in a headlock. Yeah.
Everyone in this image looks great except one person. Do you know who?
Hikari.
Yeah, her face her face doesn't quite like, it looks like she's kind of falling asleep or something.
Koshiro's the best though.
Yeah, Koshiro's the best.
Why do I get the idea that Mimi's like grabbing his ass or something, and that's why he's reacting like that? Because that's something that Mimi would do.
She's grabbed his head.
Got him in a headlock.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she does. I didn't see her finger. No, it looks like I'm still going to maintain that that's not her hand. That's someone else's. That's Ty's or something. And she's just grabbing. Oh, maybe it's Ty's grabbing his ass.
That's Tai Chi's. There you
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Even better.
He would also.
Okay, so
to be fair, they are the two most likely to grab someone's ass unprovoked.
So we get your ass jokes unprovoked, but not specifically when it was called for.
Yes, and that's why they're good.
How dare you, May? I'm personally offended by this. And from V-Jump, we get proper artwork of everyone. Although I feel like it has to be said, Tai Chi's very clearly earlier than everyone else.
Is this for the new project? Or
yeah.
Are we on the new project?
Yeah. From V-Jump.
I was gonna say you said everyone, and that confused me.
My fault. We get artwork from the new V-Jump.
We got Tai Chi, Yamato.
Yeah.
Agumon and Gabumon.
Tai Chi feels like it's earlier artwork than the others.
The word proper is used kind of liberally too here.
Well, when I say proper art, I mean it's not just a quick sketch of the head. We can see the bodies. We can see some degree of details.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah. I don't know why everyone's hating on Gabumon. He looks so fun.
I'll fight for him. I love him. He looks like a dog. And that's what I love about Gabumon, that he looks and acts like a dog.
People I've seen a lot of people saying that he looks fat, and kind of, I guess, but
he's fat. He's a fat little dog.
Yeah.
The Digimon look great.
Yeah. Yamato looks fine.
Agumon looks like he finally let those snacks get to him, but that makes sense.
Yeah. Tai Chi's clearly earlier art than the others.
Yeah.
And Yamato looks like Yamato.
They definitely feel like they're still in development. I do wonder how much thought they really put into those outfits.
Some, because they're kind of based on their adventure outfits to a degree.
I suppose.
Yeah. Although I will say, while I like the pose, I really hope we do not get like the Gorilla Agumon. Like the design, I really love, but I do hope that he's not, walking around like a gorilla.
Yeah.
But the art, I love the design though.
Of Agumon?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a great design, and I'm looking forward to seeing the other characters. I'm trying to imagine because there's little design touches here where a lot of it harkens back to adventure. So I'm curious, just the end of Trial, I think that it was they changed up Sora's hair, for example.
Yeah, I want to see what they do with that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is going to be a slow burn for a while, I think.
Oh yeah.
Or tomorrow they'll announce it's coming.
This is the Nade period. Yeah, this is the Nade period without the Nade.
Yeah. And shall we get to our topic, or does anyone have anything else to say about the artwork?
I did find it interesting that they did. Well, I saw that the one of the details they did put was the idea of them presenting them as adults, which is I found it's an obvious statement, but I did find it very relevant post-try. It does help when trying to figure out what kind of story they're going to tell, and knowing that they do have that sort of in mind.
Well,
this story. That's 22 years. Because 22 years old is barely adult.
Well, that's what.
Yeah.
So knowing that that's the framework that they're going with I find that interesting.
That's what I found interesting about the statement, because that's sort of what they did with Try. Because Try was sort of the story of
Try you had to get that evolution though.
Yeah.
Try they were very much children at the beginning of the series, and they were very much adults at the end of it. Try was about that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they differentiate it. Because if they did do the and now they're adults, I'd be kind of disappointed if they did that again. Because that is what Try was about, was that they're sort of not kids anymore. So I'm very curious to see how the adult story would be done.
Yeah, at the beginning of Try, they still felt like older children, but they were still children.
Yeah, but
here, starting them off as we're adults now, or they think they're adults now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
I can roll with that. Yeah.
Yeah. And as for our actual topic of the episode, what do Digimon fans want?
They don't know.
Well, that's kind of why I picked that picture. So how do we want to start this?
I found the grouping into subsets more interesting.
Okay, why don't you start with that, AR? Because
I think the answer to the question is, for starters, if you're just going to ask that question on a broad level, May's right. Nobody knows what we want.
Yeah,
Nobody knows
because there are different types of fans who appreciate
exactly.
different things from the franchise.
Because when you divide things up a little further, I think you can get a little more clues, and I think it also clues you into some of the confusion on why it feels like the fandom doesn't know what it wants.
And I mean, for like part of the fandom, for example, they were really like Chapter 1 of Try. Not that I didn't, but people really liked it because of slice of life. It had some possible romance in the story, and that was it. Like, there was mainly romance and slice of life, not much Digimon and fighting and stuff. It was more like, where are they now? What are their relationships? And some people just wanted all of Try to be that, and that's fine. That's just what they wanted. But for some other people, they like the monster fights. Some people aren't even interested in the anime. Some people are more interested in like the games or the VPets.
And I've divided them up.
Yeah, and not only that,
divided this into 6 classifications.
Yeah, the funny part was when AR asked me last night what did I mean by that, and I brought up, he goes, "Oh, I have some perfect names." So
I have a couple perfect names. I was lazy with a few of them.
Yeah, let's hear your classifications, including one that's really insulting that I know is coming.
Yeah.
So AR.
I've got a couple insulting.
So AR, let's hear your classifications of fans.
So I want to preface this by saying this isn't so much Hogwarts houses as it is dividing them, scientifically, like into, these are like the orders and families and classifications, that sort of thing. Like, there are different divisions within each of these. So the first one I came up with is the one I belong with, which are the story lords. Just the people who they're here for good stories. They want characters, they want actions, they want interesting concepts playing off of this weird fusion between fantasy and cyberpunk that Digimon is, and they will go wherever these good stories are. If you give us a new season, we'll follow it there. Give us new media, we'll go to different manga, we'll go to video games if they have a good story behind them. These are the people that are absolutely in love with Cyber Sleuth but completely ignore Next Order. And, dividing this group further, you've got the ones that are really attracted to the characters, ones that really go for different concepts. You have the shippers. I'm going to include that as a division of this in this group. You also have one of the more important groups, subdivisions of this, which is the people who like Digimon because it's an upbeat, positive story, and just like to see this kind of shonen style series, so they'll gravitate towards like an adventure or a frontier. And then you also have those that are more receptive to some of the more cynical concepts, and that might be more receptive to Tamers or Try. And that's where you just have that sort of division. That's one of the divisions I find interesting with that one. And, we've gotten like Try and Atmon and Hacker's Memory, and even probably Survive to some extent, that appeals to them. But if you're not getting, a theme or a character or even an atmosphere that appeals to you, you might not like any of this new stuff. Second group, and this is one I think Mark was sort of leaning towards, that I'm going to expand on even further, are season stans. These are people who are obsessed with one season, and pretty much that's it.
That's not the one that I said was going to be insulting. This one can be insulting.
Oh no, I know it's not. But we were talking about it before.
Yeah.
Or this is sort of, you were talking about Tamers fans in particular. They belong under this umbrella.
Yeah. I feel
really. Oh, go ahead.
I feel like this one's especially obvious when we talk about 3 specific seasons more than anything else. Yeah. Tamers.
I named 3 seasons. Yes.
Savers.
No.
I don't feel. I would have said Adventure 02 and Tamers.
But
02 is the other one is 02. Tamers,
I don't
Adventure,
see any love for Savers.
But I will add some Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I would. They all exist.
They all exist
for every season.
They all.
Some of them are louder. Some of them are louder than others. Like right now, I find 02 Tamers and Atmon as being the loudest right now. But they all exist.
There are
definitely Cross Wars stands out there,
yeah.
but they're pretty satisfied with what they got.
They all exist, but let me explain the three that I picked. Tamers, I feel like, is easy enough to explain that doesn't really need explanation. Savers, there are fans who Savers began, and they take Savers way too seriously, to the point that they will talk about how mature it is because it has genocide and stuff that generically is part of every show, because they've honed in on Savers and they're reading into it to try to make it more than it is.
I'm not trying to judge them.
Yeah. I'm not either. I'm just commenting why.
A particular season. It's like there are a lot of diehard Frontier fans, and I think Frontier's pretty off. But there are there's a lot of people who love Frontier.
And any season that either has nostalgia or is seen as being darker than all the other seasons and thus superior. And Tamers, Atmon, and Savers all fall into that category of darker than the other seasons and more in depth.
I'm not sure Atmon is really darker. I feel like in the case of Atmon, it deserves an asterisk because a lot of that is defensive on people just being kind of assholey about it being Digimon or not.
Yeah, some people don't like Atmon
but there's legitimate love for Atmon.
Oh no, there is. But I mean, like,
there's a lot of legitimate love for Atmon.
But I mean, like,
plenty of people who love Atmon that just like it more than
every
other season. Fine.
But I mean, you also get a lot of Atmon fans who jump up basically going, they have no interest in Digimon outside of Atmon.
I've not seen that.
Oh, I've seen quite a number of them who.
I've seen a little. I've seen a little bit of it. I think that's a little overstated and unfair because I could argue that with a lot of different seasons. Like there's plenty of Adventure fans who don't leave Adventure. There's plenty of Frontier fans.
Absolutely.
Only on Frontier.
Absolutely, but that
doesn't mean they don't like. That doesn't mean they don't.
I've seen a number of
I've
seen a number of Atmon fans who literally have no interest in the franchise outside of Atmon. And if it's even brought up, they just go, no interest to me. Period. It's come up.
There are people who are really only into it. There are people who are only into Adventure.
Oh no, absolutely. But we're talking about people who are fans of just one or two seasons. That's what it is.
And I do include Adventure stands as part of that. Even though if you're a fan.
Oh no, it's true of every season.
That'll extend to 02 and 5.
Yeah, but that's also where Adventure has a bit of a cheat. It's very hard to be just a fan of Adventure.
If you're a fan of just Adventure, you're very happy right now. I can put it that way.
Well, no, what I mean is if you only like Adventure, it's hard to be just a fan of Adventure because it has direct sequels and so much other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't...
And that's why I think I can... you can justify how vocal some of the fans are. Like, if you're a big 02 fan, I think they have a legitimate gripe. I mean, 02, I think, has been the longest since they've gotten original content for anything.
If there was less whining, it'd be easier to understand.
No, I'm not going to condone the whining, but I sympathize with it.
No, I do also. I like 02. But it's also very easy to just not care anymore when it's never a discussion.
You eventually tune it out, but it's like it's illegitimate.
Yeah. Okay, what was your next category?
Next category I have I didn't come up with a cute name for this one. It was just game series loyalists, people who just really enjoy the video games.
I believe we shall call them the Hobuites.
But
I know it count it.
The thing here is I'm particularly honing in on the World Series. Like if you're really into, if you played the really playing the World Series growing up, if you've enjoyed Redigitize, anyone who's played the Wonder Swan games for reasons other than making sense of Rio's canon probably belongs in that group.
Those games are fucking terrible. I know, like I understand why people like, say, Next Order. I don't. I understand why. The Wonder Swan games are just terrible. Period.
But this is the group that would get into them and
No, I know, but they're just not good games.
That's the box staple.
But yes, a subgroup
I'm not trying to judge here.
No, I'm judging a little bit.
You're judging a lot.
But we're all judging a lot. This is kind of a very judgmental topic where we're trying to judge without being insulting. It's very hard. But the subgroup.
But, you also mentioned that some people. You also mentioned that some of these people might be kind of indifferent to survive while they're waiting for the next story game.
Yeah.
I kind of want to put them in that box too.
Yeah, but a subgroup
but yeah, of those divisions, you have like the world camp, you have the story camp. I mean, everyone I think has a preference.
There's also the Habuites.
And yeah, the Habuites.
Who believe Habu can do no wrong, and just the game being announced with him attached, are like, oh, this game's gonna be great. We know nothing about it. It's gonna ignore half the Digimon that exist because he doesn't know what to do with them, but it's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else to say about the game group?
I really don't.
Okay.
This is getting farther out from my my level of expertise here.
May you
had something?
No, I said no.
Okay. What's the next group then?
Even farther away from my level of expertise is the enthusiast for Pendulum and V-Pets. Is really getting into the Pendulum side.
This is actually one of the more interesting groups because there are members of this group who don't consider us fans.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
I can see where they're coming from.
Like AR knows because he's seen this happen. There are people who will actually say that we're not really fans of the franchise because we're not into the V-Pets.
I mean, I'm into the V-Pets. I would consider myself as actually part of this group because that's the part of the franchise that probably interests me the most.
Yeah, I have a few of them. I just don't particularly care for them.
And that's fine. Yeah, it's just part of the franchise.
I don't care about the Pendulums one iota. Those are definitely a respectable part of the fandom.
I mean, in some regards, like, I guess if I had to put my flatmate into a category, he doesn't care about Digimon. He doesn't watch Digimon. But he actually said the other day, because I got him to raise the pendulum with me, he said, this is the only part of Digimon I care about. Because and because he's just interested. Like, he's like, they evolve and he can get different evolutions depending on how he raises it, and he's interested in that, but he's not interested in any other part of the fandom.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you can see that Bandai's still catering to this group as well. Like, there's still products coming out for this.
I feel like that's
group is being catered to quite extensively.
Yeah.
If all groups are catered to, like, no one can complain.
That's sort of a common thing. Is like all of these groups have stuff for them.
Yes.
That have come out very recently, or are still coming out, or
like even if your thing is just Tamers, there have been some figures. There has been a new story. It wasn't necessarily a good news story, but like there was a news story from the dude who was in charge of writing for Tamers. We are going to get new writing for Frontier.
The Tamers is a tough one because if you're a Tamers fan, there was new content, but it did more to whet your appetite for a new series than it was to satisfy you and saying, "Oh, good, I'm glad I got that new content." It's sort of a missed opportunity.
That's sort of the fault of the writer, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can get into that some other time, but yeah, there's Frontier stuff coming up.
We've gotten
So
previous shows.
Yeah. So what's next?
The fifth one. This is sort of a kind of a catch-all. This one I just sort of classified just general monster enthusiasts. Like, they're not really tied to a particular media. They just appreciate the different monster designs, the histories, evolutions. They're just going to gravitate towards anything showing off the most. Like, if your favorite piece of the anime was the X Evolution movie, you probably belong in this group. Just people that care entirely about the monster and the Digimon themselves, and don't really necessarily get why fans care about the human casts.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. It makes sense. I feel like a subgroup here are the ones who they just like monster games. It doesn't matter what it is. Pokemon, Digimon. They like Yu-Gi-Oh, Yokai Watch. It's everything. Yeah,
and some of the other divisions, perhaps you're particularly interested in a certain early designs or late designs. Certain designers really into the X antibodies.
Yeah.
But even then, you've got stuff coming out. That Pendulum art book's going to be really promising for you.
Yeah. And then we have the last group, which is the one that I said was that was insanely insulting, the name you came up with for it.
This is my favorite group. This is the largest.
Yes.
I believe this is the largest.
Oh, no, it is.
Probably the most important group of all of the filthy casuals. This is the one everyone overlooks.
Yes.
These are the people that enjoyed watching Adventure. Maybe they had one of the Pendulums. Maybe they played one of the World Games.
They saw Digimon the movie in theaters.
Yep, or just rented it from Blockbuster.
Yeah. And then
it had to be from Blockbuster.
Yeah. And then they grabbed
the time period. And then that was it. Then they haven't thought about Digimon between the years 2003 and 2014.
And then they saw
this is such a
and then they saw
group.
Digimon Try in theater. Digimon's back.
Oh, alternate name for this group. Oh, have you heard there's a new Digimon movie?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
This
that so many times.
Yes. This group
is that last week.
This group is also really important to point out one specific thing that happened where Cyber Sleuth came out and people went, "Look at those sales. This is the future of Digimon." And then they did a second Cyber Sleuth and it did nothing.
Yeah.
Because
Cyber Sleuth, I would include Cyber Sleuth with Try in catering to this.
But this is also a case where
it's funny because.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that I'm so glad that I got a chance to bring this up. That last week I was at a picnic for our convention staff. Someone I'd never spoken to before. Like I was wearing one of my Digimon shirts, and I'd never spoken to this guy before. It comes up and asks me if I'd seen the newest Digimon movie that just came out, and he's talking about Part 5 of Try, and he was just gushing about how gripping it was, how exciting the whole thing has been. And I'm getting there's nods elsewhere in the group. This group loves Try.
Yeah.
Which is amazing and kind of idiosyncratic because given how much I, talk about how you have to, really pay attention and invest and watch it multiple times. And this group just watches it straight up, takes it for what it is, and goes, "Yep, that was awesome."
Well, I think that goes back to what I mentioned once or twice before is Try has sort of a cheat in how it was put together in that if all you ever saw was season 1, Try still works as a sequel. They framed the beginning so that it can be a direct sequel to season 1. So if all you remember are the 7, 8 characters and their Digimon, it works.
And season 2 you can take or leave. Like if you've seen it, it doesn't really hurt anything. If you haven't seen it, you don't really miss a whole lot either.
Yeah.
It kind of works on that extent. And because Adventure is such a wonky little kids show, as good as it is, it's like it's got some really silly stuff, some silly wonky plot lines. So if you notice those in Try, and they certainly exist, you're like, well, that's Digimon.
Yeah.
It's gone from a silly little kid show to a silly little adult show, and it's enjoyable all the same.
And all of them are buying pops.
Yeah, they're all going out and buying the pop figures now, for sure.
Yes. So I guess the question
is... That's my list.
So I guess the question is both with and without think of subgroups, what do we think fans as a whole actually watch? Is there even a quote-unquote fans?
No, there's nothing that the fans all unanimously want. Because everyone's in a different group. Like, you kind of say, oh yeah, fans all want the new adventure, because there's some fans who don't want adventure. I say fans all want new tamers, but not all fans want new tamers.
I will give an asterisk to that. There may be something coming out that everyone would be happy with. Maybe. But we haven't seen enough of it to be sure.
Also, sometimes I'm just of the belief that fans don't even know what they want.
No, they don't.
It's just like, I really want this, and then it comes out. No, make it different.
And another thing is, I've also talked to a few fans who just don't care anymore. They just want the franchise to go away so they can enjoy their nostalgia.
Yeah.
I don't think Toei and Bandai are going to agree with that way to go, but I've heard that sentiment as well.
Yeah. But as for what I was saying about what might appeal to everyone, maybe Survive. I'm very curious to see because we haven't seen enough to be sure.
Yeah.
But, like, for example, one, it is adventure. All joking aside. that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it also has.
I've raised this point a couple times that we. Oh,
go ahead.
Sorry, I've raised this point a couple times that we haven't had a pure, straight up taking adventures plotline and repeating that.
Yeah.
In an anime before.
So Survive is adventure, but it also has I don't tend to think Tamers and Savers are as serious as a lot of fans give them not credit for, but think they are. Survive may be that. We don't know how
Survive is also coming at a time. Well, Survive is coming at a time when older fans can appreciate that, though. It's like if you're gonna spin it as it's like let's take Digimon Adventure. Let's take the same concept and make some new kids, but let's make it super dark. I think now everyone's going to be on board with that when they might not have been when they were younger.
AR, you forgot another possible subset, even though it's quite a smaller subset, the manga only fans.
I haven't really seen much in the way of manga only fans. I see manga preferred fans in general.
Yeah, or people who say the manga's the best.
Preferred fans. I might lump them in with like the monster enthusiasts.
Or the story
kind
people.
Of the, if you're really into V-Pets, if you're really into V-Pets,
you could
really get into V-Tamer as well.
Yeah, because
possibly
V-Tamer arguably has one of the best stories. Yeah,
the manga certainly applies to the story.
Yeah,
the story subset.
But so far there's only two groups that Survive may not apply to that we've seen. One is the people who V-Pet raising, because like if you do World or even Cyber Sleuth to a degree, you are doing V-Pet raising. We don't know how that will work here, if at all. And the people who just like to collect stuff.
Like I think if you're a V-Pet fan, it's like you're really crossing your fingers that Re-Arise is going to have something for you.
Yeah. But it will be interesting to see, because it feels like Survive is a weird, rare case where you can make a lot of people happy.
Potentially,
yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. But the real answer to this question was basically no matter what fan you are, there's stuff coming out for you. That was the real initial point of it. We just kind of got sidetracked talking about the more fun stuff. Because even in my notes, I listened.
Think this was I had a lot of fun trying to come up with these groups. This was really informative, and I'm going to have to try to figure out how to turn this into a Tumblr post somehow.
But no matter what you like for the franchise, there is something coming out for you. If you like,
that's the sort of thesis here is that there's something coming out.
Yeah. Here's the
question of whether or not it's good and whether or not you'll be able to enjoy it.
Yeah. Here's the thing: if you just want more, there's so much stuff we couldn't even go over it. If you just like the animation, there's more coming. If you like adventure, there's more. If you like Frontier, there's a Blu-ray box coming out with a new story.
Right, yeah.
If you like Tamers,
Frontier fans should be elated.
Yeah, if you like Tamers, it just had a box with a new story, and there's been figures off and on.
You did get something. Yeah, even if it left you wanting more, or Tamers fans did get something very recently.
If you like collectibles but you don't like action figures, the gem figures are the most beautiful things we've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
If action, we have a line of top tier transforming figures at this point.
Yeah, I didn't even talk about the toys, because the toys apply to there's a few different groups that the toys would appeal to.
Yeah,
I can obviously see certain season stands getting into some of the gem figures for sure.
And of course, they've been teasing tons of new V-Pets.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If they did a V-Tamer one, that might be the best-selling one ever.
Yeah.
Because there are so many people who love V-Tamer, and V-Tamer, product-wise, has always been, hey, look, there in a game is a V-Dramon.
Yeah, you get a V-Dramon. Buy one of the acrylic cards and cross your fingers.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of O2 stuff, but there is O2 stuff if you look around. There was a wave. There was the gem figures.
There's been gem figures.
The wave of Digicols. The pendulums have had more than a few things.
Came out.
Yeah, and the art for that was gorgeous.
Yeah.
But then the new pendulum.
There's been something. Is it going far enough to meet your needs is a question. And I would say that 02 has probably gotten hosed more than some of the other seasons. I think that's fair.
02 has gotten hosed for a very specific reason, though. If you want to sell something to a Tamers fan, you can do a Takato figure. More or less, Adventure and 02 fans sort of fit into the same group of buyers.
Sort of.
Not universally, but what I mean is if you want to buy an 02 figure, you probably will buy an Adventure figure. But if you want an Adventure figure, you may not buy an 02 figure.
Yeah, it's if you're an Adventure fan that leans more into 02, you're going to be a little bit angrier because Adventure's gotten so much of the attention compared to what 02 has gotten.
Yeah. But 02 also does have an advantage in that we've gotten so much Adventure stuff lately that some of that stuff can be easily repainted in the next few years. Like, here's the thing.
Hope so, yeah.
Like, here's the thing. If you love Black War Greymon, I would not be shocked if in the next year or two we get a Black War Greymon Precious Gem figure.
Has there been a Black War Greymon acrylic card yet?
I want to say yes, but I may be
misremembering. I'm not going to... Yeah.
It's one of those things where... It's one of those things where, like, design-wise, I can see it in my head, but it may not exist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that's...
But yeah, like
seems like a pretty easy one to do, potentially.
Yeah. But like, Toei and Bandai are even aware that 02's cared about because think back to, like, the 20th anniversary pop-up store. Anything that was not everything was Adventure Atmon 02.
Yeah.
Because you either had products that were Adventure, they were everything, or they were just Adventure Atmon in 02. Like the funny plastic giant paper clips. They did Agumon, they did Gatchmon, they did Vmon.
Yeah.
They knew exactly what the audience was that was most likely to buy stuff, and it was those three groups.
02 we talked. And yeah, Atmon, I can see being the other one. I think Atmon, there's a legitimate fear of just being forgotten. Like, Atmon could just fade away completely, and because it is sort of that subset and has its own bestiary, and didn't get a whole ton of interaction, I think there's a legitimate fear that Atmon could just be completely forgotten. I feel
like that goes back to and this will sound slightly wrong, but we need game producers who are willing to take the leap for what needs to be done in many of these cases. Like, we don't get a lot of Frontier characters, Cross Wars characters, Atmon, because... And Habu said this in interviews, is they don't have the normal levels, so he doesn't know what to do. Just give him the levels.
Yeah.
Like, he literally said that that's why Shoutmon and Gatchmon showed up in Next Order was he wasn't originally involved with it, so they made the decision on their own. It's not that hard to do.
I mean, I love that a little bit of Frontier and Cross Wars got into Hacker's Memory.
Yeah.
Like, that was a nice little nod.
Yeah. But, like, if you want to integrate Atmon, it's not hard to put it in everything. It's exceptionally easy.
You know, I'd actually include Cyber Sleuth as appealing to Sabers fans as well. There was a lot of little Sabers feel. There was some influence of Sabers, I think, in Hacker's Memory. Maybe not intentionally, but, you know, you kind of see a little bit of that.
Yeah, maybe a bit.
Especially since so many of the Sabers Digimon showed up in Hacker's Memory, or in Cyber Sleuth, that I could see Sabers fans really enjoying that.
Yeah, but I feel like as far as Atmon goes, it's so easy to integrate. Someone just needs to make the decision to do it.
Yeah, they just need to do it.
Yeah. That can be what the next story game is. Just finally the Cross Wars, the Frontier, the Atmon.
And with Atmon, you can't use that levels excuse.
Yeah, because the levels are so damn easy.
Just have to sort out the whole ultimate naming business, which wouldn't even be a problem for the English release.
No, it really wouldn't be. But yeah, there's so much interesting stuff coming up. There is something for everything. And I wouldn't be shocked if we got another attempt at a kid-friendly TV show soon.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope they do try again. It's like that's one I really hope they don't give up.
I feel like
questions.
Let's have them start thinking up questions while we finish
Yeah.
this up. I feel like one of the things they could do is look to some older shows that were popular as to how to start. Like when I think of a way a Digimon show could start out, what about like how Dragon Ball started out, where just start with maybe two or three characters, and you can add more along the way. You know, ease people into it.
Oh, I still think the adventure format could work just as well today. You just have to pick a different cast of kids and make them relatable.
Yep, it could easily be their kids, frankly.
Again, I
no,
I'm not.
I'm not saying it has to be. I'm saying
I shouldn't say I prefer that. An epilogue series, it has. If you do anything with the adventure universe, it has baggage.
Yeah.
I do want to have a clean start at some point.
But the brand's never really, minus Atmon, the brand has never really been willing to do a clean start. And even when it has, it's been kind of a fake clean start because Atmon more or less doesn't really throw out the baggage as much as it likes to pretend it does.
Yeah.
I mean, Tamers doesn't really throw out the baggage.
But I get my point. My point is, no, Tamers doesn't at all.
No.
My point is that Atmon, you can watch Atmon without having seen Adventure, and you'd still understand. You'd still be able to follow.
Oh, absolutely.
Through most of it, and I wouldn't say that about any of the other series.
I get what you mean. I'm not sure I agree though. Like I feel like if you wanted to, you can sit there and watch Tamers or Frontier without really having seen Adventure.
Frontier maybe. Tamers, I don't think it's quite as appealing.
I don't disagree on that, but I think we get enough people who do seem to start with Tamers that it does work.
Yeah, I get asked that a lot at panels is how to start, and
Adventure. I
still say start with Adventure.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what kind of questions we have, if any. Let's see. Scroll up. Oh, one of the questions actually was about O2 stuff, but we kind of answered that already. So we'll wait to see if any normal other questions show up. Okay, from Cuddles. With them introducing the X-Antibody Digimon, will they start to do an anime series with X-Antibody Digimon? Also, will they add full evolution lines like Doraemon to Alphamon? Will they do a full anime series? I don't think so.
I'd like one, but I don't think so. But you know, I feel like they'll probably just stick to the Digimon Chronicle stuff that they're doing.
Yeah. I don't think they would either. Like, I think they could take a stab at another movie. Like that would be kind of nice, but
I think
especially anytime you're gonna if you're talking X-Antibody series, I think when you're gonna do that, you're gonna get right back into that Yggdrasil stuff again, and Jesus, that's starting to get played out.
Well, the issue is if you stick to the X-Antibody, what makes it worth telling the story as X-Antibodies rather than like what's worth telling the story about War Greymon X-Antibody that isn't just War Greymon? It just it's just such a mild thing to do around it is what I'm unless you're going to tell a story that and you can't really tell a story specifically about them because you have to start the story somehow. You know what I mean? Like Chronicle X as a story.
That's what we're getting at is let's start with the backstory of the reforming the world.
That framework of Chronicle X, it sounds like it could make a show, or if they want to. The problem is what's the beginning? You haven't told the beginning part. And I'm not sure you can really go off the TV special that aired once at 9 a.m. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like it would do more what they sort of did in Try and have done other stuff where, hey, look, it's another Digimon. Like Alphamon is not he's not a quote unquote X-Antibody Digimon in Try. He's just a Digimon. Next question. What would be your guess for the partner of the last known human of Digimon Survive?
Like last announced one?
Yeah.
Or...
Well, we know everyone.
The last survivor.
Yeah. We know. No. We know the partners of everyone except Joe Guy, whose name I can't remember.
Maybe original Kudamon?
No, I feel like... And maybe it's just
Kudamon's
because...
just gotten...
Yeah, because Kudamon's a partner in Rear Eyes, so I don't expect him to show.
Okay.
I feel like if we look at the ones we have, something watery would not shock me. Because we have Agumon.
Yeah.
We have the dog, we have the plant, and we have the bird. We don't have anything more aquatic-y.
Oh, what about Gizamon?
Ooh, that'd be
maybe.
I love Gizamon. Like, I feel like he's a Digimon that needs more love.
I feel
like this is what, besides the Agumon, this is what Digimon Survive is doing. Like, hey, here's a Digimon design that we have. Give it some attention.
I feel like Gizamon they won't for one reason. He has a very harsh-looking design. Like, he looks like a bad guy, is what I mean.
Otamamon?
Otamamon would work pretty well, I think, actually.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that would be an interesting one, so we'll see.
Yeah, water, potentially electric, I suppose, would be another consideration.
That's why Gizamon, because there's electric.
That's right, yeah, Gizamon. Yeah.
But
that's why I like Gizamon.
And of course, we're also assuming there's only 5 of them. I mean, story elements in most things like this would suggest there's going to be a 6th or 7th outside of the group who will later be part of the group.
Mm-hmm. There's got to be, or somebody that's just going to be cannon fodder that's going to be an early death to warn the protagonist.
No, or what they may do is they'll introduce a 6th kid towards the end, and that kid is going to get killed right at the beginning.
What? Introducing a character to the Digimon story? No, that's never happened, especially now they're evil beforehand.
No. I mean introducing them at the end of like the promotional period of the show and we've kept a 6th character from you. They show it, okay, and then the character gets killed right at the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or they're the bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it becomes good later on.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. But yeah, I like the idea of less Digimon overall in the game, in the sense of making it more character based.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm hoping Survive will be good. The main problem is, and oddly, a lot of people seem to be agreeing on this point. Survive, from what we've seen, is 2 genres mixed together, and it's 2 genres that are either very good or very bad. Like tactical RPGs are always either great or terrible, and visual novels are always either great or terrible. And I really don't know what Survive is going to be. I hope it's good, but it would not shock me if it was great or terrible.
I could see one side being great and one side being terrible, and that would be good enough for us.
I'm not sure.
It'd be sort of, well, you know, I'm talking like, you look at something like Cyber Sleuth, where the story was pretty good and the actual gameplay elements were pretty meh.
Yeah, but you have to remember, I don't like Cyber Sleuth because of that.
It was still pretty well received.
But Cyber Sleuth has an advantage, though, in that case. Its gameplay elements are meh, but its gameplay elements are also generic time-tested elements. Like, there's nothing wrong with the RPG elements, they're just very generic. A tactical RPG, you can actually do really terribly. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if the visual novel stuff's bad, that will kill any pacing. And if you kill the pacing, remember, in a tactical RPG, a battle could take an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do do a single hour-long battle, and then you're thrown into a visual novel that's not appealing, you may stop playing for a while and then never come back to it. So it will be interesting to see. We'll let them think up a few more questions, and then we will call it.
I thought we saw a couple more. Let's see.
Oh, did I miss some? Here's one. Would you like to see Digimon in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? I don't watch it, so I don't care.
I don't watch it because on the basis that I'm Australian, but I can imagine. I guess Agumon. There's always Agumon.
Yeah, I mean, it would be neat it would be neat to see the Agumon float, but in and of itself, I'm not sure if it's like exciting. It's a promotional tool.
Is the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade still?
Oh yeah, it still happens. It still gets lots of ratings.
Yeah, but the only thing I know about it being Australian is that Rick Astley rolled someone at I'm pretty sure that was the parade 10 years ago. That's all I know about it.
I think that was the parade. Yeah.
I thought that was the Rose Parade.
Astley popped out. I think that was Thanksgiving Day. I thought that happened in New York.
Americans have so many different holidays and so many different parades, so I just know it happened at a parade. I know Macy's is a shop, I think.
Yeah.
Yep, Macy's is
I
a
know
store.
Thanksgiving's in approximately November.
Yeah.
And you eat turkey?
That's the only reason I think it was Thanksgiving instead of the Rose Bowl is because I remember Rick Astley being in a... That's the only reason
I don't...
That being New York and not LA. Because if it was the Rose Bowl parade and he was in LA, it wouldn't be he wouldn't be dressed.
Yeah, I guess so. And I think he did pop out of like a brand float or something.
It was if I remember correctly, it was a Cartoon Network one.
Maybe I don't know, but yeah,
maybe because that does ring because it was a character I recognized.
Yeah, I want to say it might have been like Foster's, which
maybe
would be weird because I
like that.
Remember that show. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's one of those things where like I understand the excitement for doing it, but it's like I don't watch the parade. Like promotionally, it'd be interesting, but like, would it be as fun as say the Agumon car?
Yeah, it was Foster's, I think. I'm looking it up. It was 2008.
Wow, that long ago.
Yeah, it was Foster's. It was definitely Foster's. Oh my god, that's an amazing float. Yep, it's Foster's. Okay, confirmed. And I'm pretty 2008.
2008. Okay.
Yeah.
Can't believe I remember that.
Yeah,
I obviously did not watch that parade.
Like I vaguely remember him in a fur coat, I think.
No, I remember him popping out and doing it, but
yeah,
I can't believe that was 10 years ago.
Yeah. Let's see what other questions have popped up. Do you think they'll do another Digimon versus Pokemon deathmatch on YouTube? Sure, why not?
I thought they did already.
I thought they
did.
Maybe some other group did
one. Too. I think it was Pokemon and Pikachu, and then they did one that was Lucario and Renamon, right?
Yeah, but as I recall,
that sounds familiar. But Lucario, Renamon. Maybe that was different. A different channel.
Well, I assume they just meant another one on top of it. But like, wasn't there something weird about the Renamon one? Like they didn't let her evolve in the verses or something. I remember people being very upset about it.
I thought
they didn't let her evolve, and I think she lost. I haven't seen it. I just heard about it, the fact that she didn't evolve and she lost, and everyone's saying, well, she was just a child level against someone who was fully evolved.
Yeah, I know I've seen it, but I don't remember what happened in it.
Yeah,
I just thought it was just like fun fighting and stuff.
I just remember people messaging me saying, "Don't I think it's unfair since she didn't evolve?" But I don't remember actually watching it.
Look, pitting Charizard against War Greymon was unfair, so whatever.
Yeah. For the part,
if they do, my answer to the question is if they do another proper deathmatch, that actual channel, I just hope they pick a more fair fight.
Yeah. For the partners in Digimon Survive, do you think it is more likely that they'll go for existing Digimon as primary evolutions or design new ones? Realistically, the games don't tend to introduce all that many new Digimon. We tend to get...
Yeah.
Design-wise, we tend to get a handful of filler and then one or two signature new ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could see...
Yeah, they won't... The signature new one is either going to be the main character, which we already know it's not going to be, or surprise one towards the end.
I think the answer is a new Omegamon.
No.
And here's the problem.
Here's
the problem. I say that as a joke. Do any of us sitting here thinking, could we go, that couldn't happen?
No, we'll always get new Omegamon.
Yeah. And of course, what's funny is up until a few years ago, there were very few of them. Like the past 2 years has introduced 4.
They're gonna find a way to get an Omegamon out of Agumon and Labramon.
Yes.
Oh, Dog Omegamon.
Omegamon Alter L, where the one hand is just like a tan Labramon head.
I just want a dog Omegamon. It's a dog.
Sure.
Omegamon Merciful Mode F. where it's merciful mode, but in the chest is the little Falcomon head talking.
Adorable.
Oh god.
Okay, last chance for questions, you guys, and then we will call it. I mean, overall with the brand, which has kind of been the theme here, is this, and this is where people kind of get upset because they feel it's cynical. It is all about money, and I don't mean that in a cynical way, but it is a toy cartoon brand. That's what it's for.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, that is what it's there for, to make money. If they're making too much adventure stuff, there's only one reason they're doing that. It's not because
it's money.
Yeah, it's not because they actually can't. Like, I remember, and I want to say we've discussed this before, when they did, it was like an Omegamon wallet like a year ago.
Yeah.
Someone got really upset and they went, they just keep making Omegamon merchandise to try to make him popular. And it's like, no. They're not making Omegamon merchandise because they hope he'll be popular. They keep making Omegamon stuff because he is the single most popular Digimon overall as far as people who will buy stuff. Like, generically, Agumon is the one everyone knows. As for fans spending money, anything Omegamon will fly off the shelf.
Yeah.
And the same goes for especially Taichin. It is why we keep getting Taichin Yamato gems. They're not choosing those two in a vacuum. They're choosing those two because I mean, it's sort of like people will go with Power Rangers. Why do they keep making Tommy stuff? Tommy.
I have friends who. Yeah, I have friends who are vendors at conventions, and they're Taichi and Yamato stuff that flies off the shelves. She couldn't get rid of Sora to save her life.
No.
But yeah, that is why like, for example, I want a Jayco Fig Arts. They showed a prototype of it. I want that character to get that figure. Instead, they've done 10 Gokus and Vegetas. And I know exactly why. Any single Goku will sell 10 times the amount of a Jayco. It doesn't matter that Jayco is in the same brand. Goku's going to sell. And all you have to do is tweak his face and his hair a little bit. And even then, I'm still thinking of getting Goku's. And for the... Someone's typing very loudly. For one of the last questions, would you want a remaster of the first 4 Digimon World games or Rumble Arena? No.
I feel like
I'd be okay.
We've
with
already
Digimon
gotten
World 3.
both of those.
Yeah, I mean.
No, we haven't gotten Digimon World 3. Like, Digimon World we've gotten, that's fine. But Digimon World 2003 was probably one of the best Digimon games until Cyber Sleuth.
Yeah, but the thing is
Next Order and All Star Rumble. I think we've already gotten all these.
But the thing with 3,
no, not Digimon World 2003 because it was a different genre. It was more of a story game.
Well, here's the thing: a lot of World 3 was 2D graphics, and they're just not going to spend the money to redraw everything.
Yeah,
they're just not going to. And I don't say that to be mean, but it's very easy to say. Well, not very easy, but if you have a 3D game, if you want to touch nothing, it's possible. You can just redo a handful of 2D textures, and that's it. Especially if they're on-screen graphics. You can just go, there are PS4 games that are just PS2 games with nothing changed. You can buy where it's just Rogue Legacy, I believe is the game called. You buy it digitally. It is just the PS2 game running in an emulator that renders it out live, and it looks fantastic. You could not do that with World 3. It wouldn't look that good. As for Rumble Arena, I just don't think it's worth doing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, All-Star Rumble was sort of like a remaster of it.
It was so different game-wise, though. I mean, it was more of a party fighter than an attempt at a somewhat fighter. Okay, Wildwing, what's your favorite version of Omegamon?
Alter S.
I am leaning towards Alter S, to be honest.
I'm I'm pretty indifferent to Omegamon, so I'm unlike everyone else in the fandom, so I'm going to say Merciful Mode.
Yeah. And then Nico asked.
I like Merciful Mode.
And then Nico asked, "We're never gonna get a Mako figure, are we?" The answer is wait.
If she's a character in the new Digimon Adventure, then possibly. If she's not, I wouldn't say so. I feel like
At the moment, I would generally just say
That's
wait.
a good way to put it, yeah.
Because here's the thing, Tri was not made to sell Tri stuff. Like there was lots of Tri stuff to sell, but that was not the goal. The goal was to sell adventure stuff. Now that Tri is over, they will sort of be looking at what standalone Tri stuff could they add to the port. Because here's the thing, you are not going to get a gem of Tri War Greymon. It's just not worth doing because anyone who would buy it will buy Gem War Greymon. But you could do a gem of Mako and Meikumon. Or a
I was going to say Meikumon, I could definitely see having some potential.
Yeah,
Meikumon's various forms could work.
Or a Digivol. And I believe it was me and May who discussed it. It would be very easy figure-wise to make that Tailmon figure a Meikumon figure.
Yeah.
So, do I expect something to show up? Yes, it depends how hard they're going to lean into stuff with the new adventure. The inherent issue is it goes back to Adventure, O2, and Tri are all the same buying base. So, let's say the next gem figure, what's the better to do for sales? Is it going to be Mako and Meikumon, or is it going to be Taichin Yamato sitting on a $300 Omegamon?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as for the last one, do you think there could be a Merciful Mode or Ordinamon figure? Merciful Mode, I'd say yes. Ordinamon.
Those I could see, yeah.
Ordinamon
would be cool.
Ordinamon, I would say if we would get an Ordinamon, it would be a very insane, expensive gem figure. Like the $900 Naruto one coming out. Not that expensive, hopefully, but like they are doing a Naruto gem figure that the price is psychotically stupid. Because it's Naruto and Kurama, the big fox, and it's literally like $900. In fact, I'm pulling it up now.
I was just at a convention with Paul St. Peter. I'm well aware who Kurama is.
Yeah, but just the price is just like, fucking really? Like, I'm pulling it up just so I can make... Okay, yeah. The price to pre-order that from an American store is $1,000. And there's a $200 non-refundable deposit to even place a pre-order. They're not fucking around with this one. But yeah, I could imagine like a $300 Ordinamon, and I think that would actually sell. At least enough to make it worth doing. Merciful Mode, if they'll do an Omegamon first, to be honest. And then just add wings and done. I think that's about it, wouldn't you say?
Yep.
Yeah. I will say this, if anyone wants a Meiku figure, there is a bit of a cheat in that there are characters who look similar to her in other shows, and you could probably look around and find one. It wouldn't exactly be Mako, but if that's your priority, I wouldn't be... You could find... Sort of like Yamato, you can find stuff that looks like Yamato quite easily. Yeah. That is it for that one. Forgot to change the last card. Damn, almost got it. So, where can they find you guys?
I just really like data up there.
Yes. So, AR, why don't you go first?
I'm Digimon.firstagent.net is my review site. On Twitter at firstagentarp. I'm also on fanfiction.net as AR Pulver. Started my new fanfic recently, so check that out.
May?
Lost in translation on basically on everything. I do have a personal Twitter where I post about not Digimon related things, and that's just Ancient Arismon. But mainly, if you want to hear about Digimon things, like the best bet is just to follow Lost in Translation on everything, because we have every bit of social media we can.
Yes.
Your personal account retweeted the Brian Beacock thing I posted though, so you do retweet something.
Yeah, I think I also retweeted that. That was such a funny little thing. Like
no, it's hilarious. Check it.
Yeah.
It out.
Like I would dig if that was the case though. If it was actually like because of Atmon, but I doubt it.
I refuse to believe that that is evidence of anything, but it's funny as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
because I think if it was evidence, I feel like that's something that he could get in trouble for if that was actually the case, right? Like, because that's legal information.
Not only that, but if there was an Atmon dub, the last character they would introduce would be Agumon from episode 45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is purely a case that someone searched for an Agumon screenshot to put there, and that's what pulled up and looked nice.
How did they find that screenshot?
Most recent
Google, I googled Agumon to see if it came up, and it was I did not find that image.
Unless Brian Beacock's just a big fan of Tamers, Atmon.
I've gotten him hooked on Atmon.
Yeah.
So I hope that's the case.
Yeah. I'm very easy to find on all the With the Will stuff, and you guys can join us in the Discord, and join the With the Will Patreon. It helps with all the crazy breakdowns I attempt to do. Is that it, or do we have anything else to say?
No, I'm pretty done with talking. Breakfast
time.
time.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks everyone
Supper time for me.
Thanks everyone for showing up. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.